The story begins in the year 3015 in an orphanage located in the country of Nilkamui. Residing there are many children, along with a few caretakers of the children. It is revealed that this is a rather small nation, however. It was attacked by a neighboring country called Huanglang. They quickly overtook 1/3 of the nation. In addition, the guardian deity of the kingdom, the Red Dragon, has also lost its senses and has started burning down villages. The next day, a group of rebel warriors take part in a ritual. The commander, Fugaku, visits the dojo to meet Ibuki, seeing him training all alone. It is explained that Ibuki is the heir to the throne of Nilkamui. However, he doesn't want to start yet another war and so refuses to succeed his father. Suddenly, another caretaker named Mashiro comes in to remind Ibuki of the fair, taking him with her and leaving. As they leave, Fugaku silently apologizes as he is about to throw Ibuki in the middle of the storm. At the fair, Ibuki and Mashiro are buying produce when Huanglang troops come into the city. Led by Lady Hong, the troops are transporting an important item to communicate with the Red Dragon, known as the Eye of the Dragon. Seeing a glimpse of this item, the Red Dragon's voice rushes into his head, telling him to form a contract with it. All of a sudden, Hong approaches Ibuki and asks why he is carrying a sword despite the recent ban on them. She tells him to hand it over, but the sword is revealed to be important to him. Despite this, he has no choice but to comply and does as he is told. However, the rebels show up and start attacking the Huanglang troops. Using guns, the Huanglang soldiers retaliate and start killing indiscriminately. During the commotion, the Eye of the Dragon suddenly flies and attaches itself to Ibuki. Gongli, Hong's subordinate, witnesses this act and slashes Mashiro, but they somehow manage to escape. Feeling helpless, Ibuki takes her to an abandoned temple when the Red Dragon's voice rushes into his head yet again. To save everyone, Ibuki agrees to do so but is made to sacrifice Mashiro to fulfill the conditions. Distraught, he refuses, but his hands start to move on their own. Mashiro, still barely conscious, understands the situation and accepts this outcome, telling Ibuki to become a kind king before aiding him in piercing the sword through her chest. Mashiro's soul is then fused with the blade and completes the contract. This makes Ibuki bloodbound. Fugaku takes him to his hideout where two soldiers named Salo and Merle of the Dinatina nation show up. They claim that they are here to recruit Ibuki into the Red Dragon investigation team. This team is made up of elites of Dinatina, Huanglang, and Nilkamui nations to investigate the Red Dragon's recent craze. Fugaku is skeptical and pulls out his sword to threaten them when all of a sudden Huanglang troops start attacking. Hong even lights Ibuki's orphanage on fire to force him out. Salo decides to help out as well while Ibuki requests Aya, a rebel fighter bound with a monster, for help, and they quickly reach the orphanage. Aya distracts Hong while Ibuki rushes to rescue the children. However, Hong is too strong and quickly deals with Aya before approaching Ibuki. This leaves him no other choice than to use the Red Dragon's power once again. But he learns that he needs to sacrifice yet another person to defeat his foe. Kai, an older child of the orphanage, volunteers himself, but Ibuki refuses to kill him. However, Hong doesn't hesitate and ends the boy. This allows Ibuki to use the power once more. In a fit of rage, he kills Hong and later decides to join the investigation team. There, an emissary of the Huanglang nation also appears. She introduces herself as Lu Genua and asks Ibuki to become her friend. She also claims to be a member of the investigation team. And so all the members are gathered and they leave for Haga the next day after receiving a tip that a friend of the Red Dragon resides there. Aya is also tasked to be Ibuki's escort. On their journey, Salo reveals he has to kill the Red Dragon while Lu is planning on killing the Red Dragon and the investigation team. They soon enter Huanglang's territory where Lu gets attacked by Hong's troops. She immediately kills them and feeds their souls to her weapon, who she refers to as Lord. Soon they reach their destination but find that a commander of the Huanglang forces named Leshao is laying siege to the city. In addition, Ulrika is ordered to break the siege using Dinatina troops. As such, the team decides that the best way to enter is to sneak Lu and Ibuki and then negotiate with the lord of the city. They do so and quickly get into the manor and run into Kaguraba, the lord of the city. They quickly make contact and bring the rest of their group inside. There they discuss the Red Dragon, but Kaguraba states he will only reveal the dragon's message if the group can avert the war. Ibuki wants to find a peaceful solution and suggests he go negotiate with Leshao. His idea is accepted but only if Aya is to accompany him. This is all a ploy of Lu, who wants to determine the nature of the Red Dragon's power. And so, Aya and Ibuki meet Leshao, but she refuses to negotiate. This leaves Ibuki no other choice than to kill Leshao to prevent the war, and so he beseeches her to read Kaguraba's letter. She does so and learns that Kaguraba has proposed a peace treaty. She agrees to the conditions and war is avoided. Kaguraba stays true to his word as well and claims that a clue might be present in the Agani volcano. He also wishes to learn of Aya's story, and she starts with the rebel army's first expedition, in which the army was completely wiped out, including the leader Izan, who was bounded by a giant stone golem. Kaguraba recalls a memory of his own upon hearing this story and narrates his last interaction with the dragon. However, it is not certain if this claim is true or not. But Ibuki still decides to go and everyone decides to tag along. Even Kaguraba and Ulrika accompany them and they leave on their journey. However, just as they reach their destination, Ulrika gets informed of an unusual phenomenon and heads before the group to investigate. The investigation team soon get attacked by restless ones, humans who have died and revived as zombies. Furthermore, all these restless are dressed as Leshao's forces. All of a sudden, Ibuki finds himself faced with Leshao, who has been turned into a restless. She picks up her rifle and moves into attack. Ibuki is left helpless, but Aya quickly jumps to protect him. Everyone else also shows up and they begin clashing with Leshao. Kaguraba suggests that they retreat, but Ibuki doesn't want to leave Leshao behind. He decides to use the returned Leshao as a sacrifice to find the culprit, but he is interrupted by Heen and the Revolutionary Army. Later on, Ulrika takes them to a Tina hideout. It is revealed she knows Lu is up to something and they discuss the situation. Ulrika reveals that not only Leshao's troops were killed, even surrounding villages are affected. Furthermore, it all started when Izan first fought the Red Dragon. Ibuki decides he will continue to Agani because he doesn't want anyone else to end up like Leshao. The rest of the groups also follows him and they eventually run into the remaining returned ones. Moreover, Izan and his giant stone monster are also present. Aya wishes to kill Izan with her own hands and Ibuki agrees. Lu's lord demands Izan's soul to quench his hunger and she obliges as well. Salo also moves in to use the Black Dragon's scale to stop Izan. This item will disrupt Nilkamui's magic field and make the Tina forces stronger. Heen and the Revolutionary Army deal with the returned and then rush to Ibuki's side. Heen wants Ibuki to use his life to defeat Izan, but he proves to be an unworthy sacrifice. Seeing this, Salo has no choice left but to use the Black Dragon's scales. He throws them into a lava pool, which then starts taking a toll on the Red Dragon's power. This also causes the remaining return to drop on the floor, as well as giving Salo a surge in strength. He decides that it would be better for him to give up his life to protect Merle and the investigation team and uses a special ability granted by the Black Dragon to unleash a powerful attack. This splits Izan into two and they retrieve a Red Dragon's claw. Lu also returns, but she is severely inherited and missing an arm. All of a sudden, a commotion occurs in Haga when the Tina bishop appears there. He presents to the citizens the real heir to the throne, a young child named Inori who is revealed to be Ibuki's sister. This causes a shock to Ibuki as he thought Inori was killed in the last war. But seeing her alive, he wants to go meet her and immediately heads out. They soon reach Haga and he is extremely happy that Inori is alive. Moreover, Inori brings out Mashiro, who is also apparently alive. This causes a great deal of confusion, but Ibuki readily accepts that she is still alive. Nonetheless, Aya is extremely skeptical of this. Even Salo doesn't believe this to be the truth and doubts the bishop. One night, Aya speculates that Mashiro is returned and calls her out to get evidence. She then kills her, only to see her rise yet again. This makes sufficient proof and Kaguraba confronts the bishop. He also shows the investigation team and Ulrika the footage of Mashiro getting killed. Even the bishop is left speechless, but all of a sudden, Inori walks in. She asks what the issue might be, as Mashiro is a precious person to her brother. And so, he raised her from the grave using her powers. Ibuki immediately asks to talk with Inori in private. There, she confesses to everything and assures him that she revived Mashiro. She also claims that she will not become a puppet to the Tina nation, rather she will oppose them with the help of the Revolutionary Army. But Ibuki still cannot process this. He takes some time for himself and locks himself in a room. There, he gets contacted by the Black Dragon, who tells Ibuki that his magic is slowly spreading into Nilkamui thanks to Salo. As such, only Tina is capable of restoring Nilkamui, so Ibuki should team up with them. When Ibuki finally returns, Inori and Mashiro have been dragged away by the bishop for interrogation. On the other hand, Ulrika and Salo run into Hakui, one of the top 6 generals of Huanglei. Meanwhile, Ibuki forces himself inside the Tina embassy and finds Inori has killed the bishop and his men. He realizes that her sister is now insane and decides to go undercover and defeat her. And so, he agrees to join her and they sneak out at night to leave. However, Ibuki uses his powers to properly kill Mashiro to make sure she never rises ever again. They all disappear, but Aya appears to be following them. Inori uses her returned caretakers to beat down Aya, while Ibuki tells her to leave as he never thought of her as a blade for him to use. However, he is doing this to protect her. Meanwhile, Salo and Ulrika find the bishop dead and see Inori and Ibuki are nowhere to be found. Hakui concludes that the Revolutionary Army is plotting something behind their back. As such, the investigation team is disbanded, but Salo still wants to help Ibuki. He manages to get Ulrika on board his plan and departs to aid his friend. Ulrika gets handed the Red Dragon's claw they retrieved and leaves for her country, but Lu attacks her. Ulrika uses her full force to defend herself, but Lu brings out an item similar to the dragon's sail. This item gives her disrupts the Black Dragon's magic and she manages to kill her opponent. However, Ulrika was acting as a decoy as the claw was not with her. On the other hand, Lu runs into the injured Aya, who states she cannot die until she makes Ibuki king. Lu proceeds to give her the same magic item she used against Ulrika, telling her it will prolong her life for a few days. Soon Ulrika's body is discovered and Lu is suspected. On the other hand, Salo and Merle continue their journey and run into a young child. This child seems to know a lot but keeps her identity under wraps. Not long after, Ajito, the leader of the rebels, is imprisoned and sentenced to be executed for conspiracy. Salo hears the news and visits. He learns that Ajito is manipulating Ibuki and Inori. All of a sudden, he gets approached by the same girl they ran into on their journey. This child is the representative of Huangling, known as the spiritual mother. Meanwhile, Fugaku takes Ibuki to meet with Ajito, where he reveals he was the one who killed his family as they were planning on forsaking Nilkamui for money. Inori is waiting outside and she gets jumped by the Dinatina and Rebel. However, she easily fends them off after summoning the Red Dragon and unleashes an attack. On the other hand, Salo meets with Lu and they get into a confrontation. Lu reveals to him she killed Ulrika, but he is unfazed. But their fight is interrupted by Inori and the Red Dragon. All the generals present start attacking but fail to do damage. Aya also comes in and tells Ibuki to use her life to defeat Inori. The climax fast approaches and Kaguraba brings out the dragon's claw. Salo claims only Ibuki is worthy to wield it and recruits Hakui's power to form a plan. Ibuki learns that Inori's craze is slowly consuming the Red Dragon's consciousness, making him go mad. This leaves him no other choice but to eliminate his beloved sister. With the help of Salo, Muro, Kaguraba, and Hakui, he manages to take the dragon's claw and reaches Aya. He then uses her life as a sacrifice to stop this ordeal and stabs her. With the sacrifice complete, he then uses the dragon's flames to incarcerate Inori, bringing the battle to an end. After the battle, Lu takes possession of the Eye of the Dragon and trouble starts brewing again. A month has passed since the incident. Ibuki is now soon to be crowned as the new king of Nilkamui. Furthermore, it is revealed that Ibuki used the Red Dragon's power to reincarnate Aya into a new body. The war is now behind them and the world continues with peace. For now, the end.